The so-called coalition led by the US and the UK is carrying out open aggression against Yemen. And even though attacks on the territory of the sovereign Middle Eastern country have been ongoing for nearly 6 months, they have had no impact whatsoever on the military capabilities of the Houthis, as we have clearly seen with their attack on Tel Aviv. The situation in Yemen is exacerbated by the ongoing turbulence in the Middle East as a whole, which is experiencing these shocks due to the unprecedented brutality of Israel's actions in Gaza. Last week, we witnessed a Houthi attack on Tel Aviv and an Israeli retaliatory strike on Hadera. During the Council's discussion of this issue yesterday, we witnessed the selective blindness of our colleagues who persistently tried to ignore the elephant in the room. While there is no justification for such actions on the part of Ansar Allah, nor their attacks on commercial vessels in the Red Sea, one cannot ignore the fact that the primary and main reason for the spillover of the Yemeni crisis beyond the borders of that country is the ongoing slaughter in Gaza, which has already claimed nearly 40,000 innocent Palestinian lives. We consistently and unfailingly support the establishment of an immediate, unconditional, and comprehensive ceasefire in the sector, the release of hostages and detained Palestinians. Ending the violence in Gaza will allow the region to breathe a sigh of relief and lay the foundations for a transition to a long-lasting peace and stability. In our view, this cause and effect relationship is absolutely clear, and denying it is pointless. Yemen will finally be able to focus on its domestic agenda, resolve existing political differences, and move to redressing the dire humanitarian situation in the country. The support of the international community is a key factor for Yemen and the Yemeni people in these conditions. But some states, instead of working on calming the situation, are trying to put out the fire with fuel and prioritizing the use of force. This applies first and foremost to the situation in the Red Sea, where the so-called coalition led by the US and the UK is carrying out open aggression against Yemen. And even though attacks on the territory of the sovereign Middle Eastern country have been ongoing for nearly 6 months, they have had no impact whatsoever on the military capabilities of the Houthis, as we have clearly seen with their attack on Tel Aviv. Moreover, they have had the opposite effect. The credibility of the movement's region in the region has been strengthened, and the intensity of strikes against commercial vessels has increased. Was this the goal that the US and their allies were pursuing? Russia decisively rejects the use of force to influence the Yemeni parties. At the same time, we consistently advocate the need to ensure the safety and security of international navigation and condemn any actions that threaten the safety of ships. We call in particular for the release of the MV Galaxy leader and its crew. At the same time, we are convinced that the path towards de-escalation in the Red Sea includes ending the violence in Gaza and promoting an intra-Yemeni settlement, especially given that both of these goals are stipulated in the decisions of the Security Council. We once again urge our Western colleagues to focus on the implementation of these goals rather than digging themselves deeper into futile military escapades, which only serve to rapidly weaken your credibility in the region, which has already been undermined by your blind support for Israel.